Assalamu alaikum, friends. It's been a while. Alhamdulillah, I'm back. I hope you guys had a great break. And a lot happened over the break. And actually, I went to Mass ICNA in Chicago and I saw like over eight of you who watched my channel. And I was like, ah, I love people. I love you guys. And also, half of them were men, which means the men are healing. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless our men and heal them and create the greatest leaders of our ummah, inshallah. I mean, but alhamdulillah, a lot of things have happened. And just a recap from even last year, so many of my clients got married. 11 clients got married. Four are engaged. So many more are in progress, alhamdulillah. So there's a lot happening. And alhamdulillah, all by the fadl of Allah. And today I'm going to talk about how to decide to be married this year. And what does it mean when I say how to decide? Because there is always something that is kind of blocking you that you may not know is the little shift that you need to actually get married. And subhanAllah, when I first start off with my clients, I can see the difference from point A to point B. I can see the shift in their attitude and in their identity, the way they think about themselves, the way they carry themselves, because that's what matters in terms of certainty in yourself, certainty in dua, and how to actually get married. So there is internal work that you can work on to get married at the time you want to be. And it's not just leaving it up to fate of whatever Allah decides, which is, by the way, Allah does decide when it happens, but there is also free will about how to go about things. And so this year I am doubling down on really talking about every angle of my things, my approach, how to actually work on the parts of you that feels that needs adjusting, that needs shifting, that helps you actually get into the process and make the relationship process much easier to navigate. And so if you're new to my channel, I urge you to watch all my older videos, especially starting from the beginning, understanding self-concept, understanding how all of that impacts the way you show up in relationships, because it does have a huge impact. It is, I would say, 90% of the work, 10% is the strategy and how you show up physically and all of that, and what to say and all these things. Okay, so the first thing I want to start off with is the decision to be married. So what makes a difference between someone who does get married easily versus someone who doesn't is in their mind they've decided I'm going to get married. I don't care what comes up. I'm going to figure it out and it's going to work. Someone who has struggles with getting married, they're more in the mindset of I don't know if I'm going to get married. Probably not. It's probably not going to work out for me. So this person, the one who struggles with it, everything they encounter or every rejection they encounter or everything that doesn't work out or if they don't see the kind of person that they want at the time that they want, they make it mean that they've decided that it's not going to happen for them. Okay? Person A over here who has decided it is going to happen, they have the same flaws as person B. Okay, they have the same flaws in terms of character, whatever, but the difference is they've decided that it's going to happen for me. And so they don't stress about it as much. They don't even like it's very minimal the amount of stress they have about the topic of marriage because they know it's going to be figured out. It's no matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes, because they're just like all in of like I'm going to make it work. So I'm going to give you an example. And this one, some people have problems or struggle with this understanding this concept, but I want to kind of break it down in examples because that's what helps people learn. So I'm gonna use an example of a highly paid job. Okay, let's say you're praying for a highly paid job, like a high paying job that requires a certain skill set to get. Okay, there are so many people that apply to that kind of job and only some actually get it. So everyone wants to get married, everyone wants a high paying job, but only the ones who decide to do it will get it. What does that look like? So if I decide I don't care what happens, I'm going to do whatever it takes to build up my skill set to get that high paying job. Even if I get rejected 100 million times, I do not care. Even if I don't see any applications or I don't see anyone reaching out to me, I don't care. I'm going to figure it out. That doesn't mean they don't have low moments. That doesn't mean they don't have hopeless moments, but they're more set on I'm going to figure it out. It's a decision. This is who I'm going to be. I'm going to be someone who gets highly paid in this specific job. And if it's not the specific job, I'm going to get another job where it pays me really well. Okay. They've made that decision. So what does that look like? Practically speaking, they do whatever it takes to figure out how to get more confident in their interviewing skills and the skills that specific job is looking for. Better communication, better whatever that skill requires, they work on it. So when they do that, they have a much, much, much higher chance of getting it. Practically speaking, because they're using the means within themselves to build up the skills and get it. Okay? And also because they've decided they're going to get it, internally their dua when they make that is very certain. Ya Allah, I'm going to get that job. Ya Allah, I know you're going to make it happen, and they act as if it's already answered, and they're just rolling it out, right? So I want you to imagine this, right? When you make dua with certainty, and you know it's going to get answered, what you're imagining is Allah has rolled out the red carpet for you. And now it's your job to take the means to actually walk that carpet and go to that goal that you want. And this is where we're kind of tested on in terms of taking the means. Taking the means does not mean constantly talking to people without analyzing your patterns, right? So if you keep going to the same interview about the same high paying job and you keep kind of stumbling and fumbling the bag of like saying you keep like rambling or you keep messing up or you shut down or all this, that's going to impact your results. So what that person does is they analyze, okay, how did I show up? How did I show up in that interview? How did I show up? And okay, they work on that confidence part. Oh, I notice I'm lacking in this skill. I notice I don't know how to answer this question. I notice this. Okay, so all of that impacts the way they show up because their foundation, their belief is I'm going to make this work. I'm set to figure this out. With someone who's going to get married, they also have that same mindset. Because at the end of the day, it is kind of it's actually the same exact thing as a business interviewing for a job because you have to put yourself out there. You have to be exposed by people who are judging you. And if you don't have the skill set of how to present yourself, how to be like actually see yourself as a lovable like person that is worthy of love and deserving of marriage, of an amazing, incredible, healthy marriage, that's that all of that impacts the way you show up, right? So if and it's okay that you're not there and confident, but that is the work. That is the work to be like, okay, I'm gonna decide to get there. I am confident that I can do it in terms of the skills of like becoming someone who is secure enough to face a relationship, to manage it, to not run away from it. For all my avoidance who avoid, actually getting a connection and what comes up is usually, by the way, lack of attraction. They find it very hard to be attracted to people. Same thing with anxious people who don't know how to manage their emotions. The way the brain sabotages is so, subhanAllah, so fascinating. There is so much to learn. There is so much to learn. So anyway, I digress. Back to the point. Okay. The difference between someone who gets it and someone who doesn't, with someone with a job, with marriage, is I'm decided I'm going to get it and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. All the obstacles of and all my fears, I'm going to face them, I'm going to work through them, and I'm going to figure it out. Okay? That is a very growth, like I'm in. I'm going to do it. They've decided I'm going to do it. Now, there are people who, by the way, naturally, they don't do any work. They're just like, they just get married easily because they already have access to that thought. They don't have any drama or emotional like wounds about how they're never going to get married and no one's ever going to love them. They don't have that. Mostly because either they grew up in a very a healthier environment, not perfectly healthy, but like a healthier, more supportive environment that helps them get to a point where they're able to see like I'm going to get married and why not me? Okay. Um, so if you're someone who didn't have that and didn't observe healthy marriages around them and it feels harder to access that, then yeah, that is our work. And I was one of them. Girl, I was a complete mess, okay? I mentioned before in my videos, I was fearful, avoidant. That made me sabotage every single relationship I was in. I would find any excuse to run away. And I remember looking back, and the guys were actually pretty good, like, but I was like, I don't think it's right. And then I just would run away. So obviously, after healing that, alhamdulillah, when I met my husband, I got my head straight and it worked out. That is me taking the means, and Allah sees when you take the means and you trust that Allah has answered you, you take the means and the things that kind of align. Okay? So the first step is deciding I'm going to get married. And this is what happens with my clients when they like, work with me and stuff. Like the first thing is like even just starting and to work with me, they've decided I'm going to get married. I don't care what it takes. Let's go. So then we work on it. But they've decided I'm going to grow. I'm going to figure this out. Okay? So then when you've decided, the next step is just constant understanding where and analyzing where am I, what patterns do I keep that keeps coming up that makes me kind of shrink or have less certainty in being married or less certainty in God and less certainty that I can do it and less certainty or am I so attached? Am I so attached to the reasons of why I'm not going to get married? Because of my age, because of the way I look, because of the way I act, because all of these other things, which, by the way, there is someone who's the same exact, who has the same exact qualities as you, same exact age, same exact all this, who gets married very easily because they don't have all that drama. How do we know this? Okay, there's your crazy cousin out there who's always constantly getting married and she has a personality of a potato. Or there's people out there who aren't really like that interesting that get married because they don't have those beliefs about how it's so hard to get married and I'm never going to get married or something similar, right? It's a spectrum, so it may not be that intense. So the point is, I'm going to make this video short because I like to keep my videos under 15 minutes, but deciding I'm going to figure this out. I'm done with the self-pity about how I'm never going to get there. That's not serving anyone. It's not serving you. It's not serving anyone. I want to learn how to see myself as the greatest creation of Allah, one of the greatest creations of Allah in terms of like confidence. Okay. See yourself as I'm amazing. I'm incredible. I love the way my body looks. I love this. When you learn to love yourself, you learn how to naturally form a beautiful connection with another person without having a long list of how things should look. And so your standards actually become higher in terms of character and the things that matter in the marriage and the things that don't matter, you start like, I don't care. I'm good. Like I have the safety that I need inside of me. I don't need them to act a certain way for me to feel okay. Okay? So, step one, decide that you're going to get married. What does that look like? I am going to get married. I've decided I'm going to get married. What people tend to do is pull this thing where they're like, I don't know if Allah wants this for me. Why would you say that? What, like, Allah wants you to be happy. Allah wants you to be married. So you, with your free will, you're going to be like, oh yeah, Allah wants me to be happy. Allah wants me to be married. So I'm going to believe that too. Okay. But if you're someone who's really holding on to, I don't think Allah loves me and I don't think Allah wants to give me what I want you to watch that workshop I made about how to heal your relationship with Allah, just as a starter. But also, Allah wants you to be married. It's written in the Quran for marriage is such a beautiful thing. So in order to find out if you're going to get married, you have to take the means to make it work. If I don't know if it's meant for me to open up a bakery or a restaurant, I don't know if it's meant for me, but I'm going to take the means and I'm going to fail on the way. And then I figure it out. And then I keep trying and trying and trying and trying for until I die and then also figure out if, oh, well, maybe it wasn't meant for me. Okay. But first, it becomes a decision. I'm going to open a business. I'm going to be a business owner who does XYZ. I'm going to open this amazing restaurant. It's going to be the most amazing restaurant in the world. Okay. You make that decision, then you execute on the skills and the skill set specifically that's required, the identity that's required to get you to that level. Okay. So I hope that made um, that kind of pushed you to understand what the difference is. I promise you, you don't need more healing. Okay. We see all these crazy women that get married who are not healed, that need way more healing than whatever. There's just a lot happening. It's not about the healing part is not necessary. Okay. It's necessary for a healthy relationship. But if you just want to get, which is not what my channel is about, right? I'm not here to just try to get you married for no, just to get married. I want you to get married uh, because you deserve the love and the companionship that you want. And if you want, and I believe, right, the whole journey that we're on is designed as a boot camp to give you the skills you need to have a beautiful relationship that you've been praying for. So Allah's designed this on purpose. You're exactly where you're supposed to be to navigate this process and to have all the stuff come up about how it's not happening for you and all this so that you learn how to change it, shift it, so that you show up in the marriage ready, mature, and still things to come, right? No one's ever fully perfectly healed. But as a starter, you are ready for marriage now. You just have to decide that it's gonna happen. And Allah facilitates everything because Allah's the best of planners. He knows. Okay, we don't have to keep holding on to how Allah's not gonna make it work for you. He will. And I encourage you actually for this year, decide this is going to happen for me. I want this to happen for me. Ya Allah, it might not happen, and but I don't want to obsess over that, right? Like if I want to go somewhere, I'm not going to obsess how I'm not going to go. I'm going to obsess about how I'm going to plan it. I'm going to plan my trip. I think it's going to be an amazing fun adventure and it's going to be really good. So I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to have the most amazing marriage and I'm going to like figure out what it takes. And if, let's say, you're someone who really struggles with putting yourself out there, or you're someone who struggles with not meeting the kind of person that you want, all of that is mindset, by the way. And I've talked about this on my channel. If you struggle with meeting someone you want, or all this, your thoughts about the opposite gender, your thoughts about your identity, all of that impacts what you see, all of that impacts what you attract. Whew, okay, yeah, so as you can tell, it's been a while, so I have a lot to say. Um, but alhamdulillah, I get like I said, I'm gonna double down, inshallah, create a lot more videos, a lot more like oh, by the way, I forgot. The next cohort for group coaching is coming up February 7th, and that is called the Love Movement, and it's the space where I give you the where I hear from you and I want to see where you're at so I can give you the tough love you need to actually shift. Okay? Because it's cute to kind of sit here and consume all day, but what you actually need is someone to show you, okay, this is the specific thing that you're struggling with, and this is what you do. Okay, that starts February 7th. There are limited spots. It is women only. Inshallah, I plan on opening up a men only stuff, not men only, but a mixed group coaching eventually. But alhamdulillah, I really appreciate all of you and I read all of your comments, so I really appreciate all the love. I do put a thumbs up on it and I realize I'm not putting a heart on it, which makes anyways. المهم. All right, I love you guys. Inshallah, I will see you in the next video. Yalla, assalamu alaikum.